How do you feel about the education you've gotten so far?
The way that I feel about it is it's been good, but there's room for improvement.
I feel like as I've taken honors and AP classes, we get that higher level of education, but like the people that don't learn as well, they don't get as much.
Those that do well do exceptionally well, but those that don't really fit this, not criteria per se, but fit this mold of Barrington, tend to fall through the cracks.
I feel like it's been good to a degree, but I mean, lacking in some areas.
I received an education in 2 different countries, and I like to compare them to each other. I feel as my middle school education, I went to middle school in America and at Nathaniel Green. I didn't think it was the best.
What kind of things would you like to see improved in the future?
I mean, I'd really like to see more room for one-on-one time between teachers and students, and I hear a lot of students complain that there's not enough time to really get things done, and teachers complain as well.
One major thing would be having less periods during the day, but making the periods extend, because it's very difficult, I think, for students to jumble around 6 different classes during a day and try to consume all that information, whereas having, maybe 3, maybe 4 classes a day, you have a longer understanding of what you're learning during that class period, and you'll be able to probably remember it more rather than just having it for 40 minutes and leaving.
I do wish, though, we can have certain classes for different students. Like we have AP classes and people in AP want to be there, but all my other classes, half the class doesn't, half the class does. Or 1/3 of class doesn't speak English and the teacher has to rephrase I just feel we should have different levels of classes. We used to have something like that, but they took it off because they thought it was wrong. I think it's right.
I think a lot of the time our classes are too disciplinary. Like you have English, science, history, and math. And a lot of the time it seems like there's very little connection between the subjects, when in truth there actually is a lot of connection.
I certainly wish the school system taught more content rather than to the test in a way. More like engaging students in wanting to learn rather than teaching it so they can take, let's say, an AP course later on. Like you want to learn the information, not automatically take tests all the time to prepare you for this one test at the end of the year that's going to count the most. I want to learn and develop more, which is something that I would like to improve in the education system.
I feel as if we don't have a lot of problems with the high schools. I think all the problems are with actually the middle schools.
So the lower levels have the biggest issues, you'd say?
Yeah, I think middle school is the time where we actually receive the most information. I think we build on the information we learned in middle school, and if we don't know any of that information from middle school, how can we build on it in high school? So we have to, I feel like people really just retake middle school in high school, and that's why we have so many problems and kids aren't where they need to be.
If the guidance counselors focused on the underclassmen a little bit more, they would, the students maybe could tell them about what is happening and then what they feel that they could do better, the school could do better, and then maybe guidance could then talk about that to the rest of the school.
I wish that teachers would just be more helpful in seeing the other parts of the student's life, whether or not if they get it easily or if they don't. And if it doesn't come to them as easily, to be more helpful into making them learn it better. I think not all fault lies with teachers or with students or with principals. I think fault lies with everyone. And if we're doing something wrong, we should all change it and not make major changes to just one thing, because it can't be just one thing.